Good evening. I am Danielle Mestis, and this is week 2, lab 1, the fetal pig dissection. So I am going to turn my camera around and show you that I have no additional resources to help me, as well as show you my workspace. Okay, so here is my workspace. So this is the baby pig. Her name is Patricia. So this is my workspace right here, showing no additional resources. I do apologize for the mess. I am deployed, so this is the only workspace I have to work with. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to start with the exterior region of the pig. So we were asked to identify the head region, the neck region, the trunk region, and the tail region, and then as well as identifying the gender of the pig. So we're going to begin with the head region. So the head region encompasses all of this region of the animal. We will go ahead, and the neck region will be from here to about here. And then we have the trunk region, which is all here. And then the tail region is here to her little tail. All right, and then we can see that the female, it is a female pig, as her vulva is on the exterior of her body. Okay, so the next system that we're going to be working on is the skeletal system. So we have two systems in the skeletal system. We have the axial skeleton, and then we have the appendicular skeleton. So the axial skeleton consists of the skull, the spinal cord, and the thoracic cage. And the appendicular skeleton consists of the extremities, so the upper and lower extremities. I'm going to pass my camera off to my assistant, and we will get started with the rest of the anatomical terms. Okay, so the first one we were asked to identify is the skull. So I made a few incisions in here to visualize the skull. So here is the skull. The next system will be the vertebral column, which is a little bit hard to see, but I cut away a little bit, and you can see the vertebral column is right here. It's this piece, these bones encompassing the spine. We have the thoracic cage, which I only opened up one side of the pig, so we can, there's the costal cartilage, which is covering it, but we can kind of see here his ribs covered by that costal cartilage, as well as some fat and adipose tissue and muscle. The next, we were asked to identify the humerus, which is going to be the bone, the big bone in here, the only bone that is proximal to the proximal bone in the upper extremity. We have the femur, which is located right here. I couldn't get the muscle off the bone, so I can feel the bone right here, but we just can't visualize the bone at this point. We have two bones that are located in the distal lower extremities, and that's going to be your tibia and your fibula. So your tibia, you can kind of see right here, is the bigger bone. The fibula is on the lateral aspect of the animal. And then one joint, well, there's a few joints actually that are capable of flexion. So we're just going to explain two. So we have what would be known as the wrist. So here's the wrist. So it's capable of flexion. And we also have what would be equivalent to our ankle, and is capable of flexion. Okay, so the next system that we are going to be working with is going to be the muscular system of the pig. So the first term is going to be the pectoralis major, which is going to be his pec muscles, and they're located right here on your pig. We have the latissimus dorsi, which is located on the back of the pig along here. And the deltoids on the lateral aspect of the pig. We have the rectus abdominis, which is located on the underbelly of the pig, so the underside of the pig right here. They were not, I wasn't able to visualize them very well. The skin is really tough through here, so we were unable to visualize that of the pig. Then we have the transverse abdominis, which is going to be the outer abdominal muscles of the pig. And then we have the gluteus medius, which is going to be the muscles in the back end of the pig. Okay, so this is the last portion of the lab. So we're going to talk about the endocrine system and the nervous system, but in opposite order. So first and foremost, the first question for the endocrine system was, what did we see on the spinal cord? So we did see a little white covering that covered the spinal cord. It was kind of hard to see on the pig since he was so small, but that white covering is known as meninges. And then the second question was, what's the differences between the white matter and the gray matter? So it's a little bit obvious. So your white matter is white in color, whereas your gray matter is pinkish gray in color. Okay. So the makeup of the white matter is going to be bundles of myelinated axons, whereas your gray matter is going to be neutrophils, glial cells, neuronal cell bodies, capillaries, synapses, and myelinated axons. So mainly where we're going to find the white matter is going to be within the superficial areas of the spinal cord and the internal areas of the brain. And then it's opposite for the gray matter. So the internal areas of the spinal cord and the external areas of the brain. So they're responsible. So the white matter is responsible for learning and cognition, whereas the gray matter is responsible for sensory perception, muscle control, decision making, and data processing of your external environment. Okay, so the endocrine system is the next part of, is the final part of the lab. So the question was, how does insulin, regulate the glucose levels of the blood? So pretty much insulin is released straight into the blood system, which allows glucose molecules to grant entry into the cell, therefore lowering blood glucose levels. And the last question is, what is unique about the glands of the endocrine system? So for that, there's a lot of different things that make it unique, but one of the big differences between that and other systems is that it directly secretes substances into the blood that regulate the functions of the cells and the tissues, and this substance is known as hormones. And this concludes my week 2 lab 2 assignment. Thank you.